Good morning, Lucy. Is now a good time to talk? Hey, Betty. Good morning. Sure thing. What's up? It's about Frank. Has he been busy lately or something? I wouldn't say so. He's home from work at the same time as always. Is he tired then? Not really. He just seems like his same old self to me. Why do you ask? Lucy, you are keeping my son satisfied by fulfilling your womanly duties to him, aren't you? You know, in the bedroom. Well, we do sleep in the same bed. In that case, why haven't you given me any grandchildren yet? You've been married for an entire year already. What are you waiting for, the second coming of Christ? Wait, you're not infertile, are you? Listen, Betty, I know you're my mom-in-law, but this is ultimately mine and Frank's decision. It's not that we don't want kids one day, but we're going at our own pace, and we'll get there when we're ready. We'd really like it if you could be a little more patient. I've been doing nothing but being patient with you. My cousin Nora got married after you two, but she already gave birth to twins. And you know Graham from across the street? His daughter gave birth last week. Why does everyone seem to be having babies except you and my son? I'm the only one in my friend group without any grandkids, and the embarrassment is killing me. I guess we just haven't been blessed with any yet. You'll never be blessed if you don't do the deed. Goodness me, Lucy, didn't you learn how this works in school? Do I seriously have to spell it out? I wait, and I wait, and I wait, but the news never comes. And I hate to have to bring this up, but I feel I have no choice. You've been getting fatter and fatter ever since you and my son got married. Don't you think your blubbery rolls might have something to do with him not wanting to go near you anymore? This is a very delicate issue. And I understand how you feel, Betty. Really, I do. We are thinking about it, we just haven't made our minds up yet. We'd really appreciate if you could give us some more time. I know it's delicate, dear. Do you think I enjoy talking about this? The reason I brought it up is precisely because I have been waiting, but you've made no progress. Be honest, are you infertile? How is it possible that you can't be pregnant after an entire year of marriage? There must be something going on. I get checked at my gynecologist every year. He says everything's in working order. I wonder, could it really be? I just can't believe you haven't given me any grandchildren yet. Me and Frank would love to have kids one day. Believe me, Betty. It's something we've always talked about. But it's also not a decision to be taken lightly. So with all due respect, please understand that and let us decide at our own pace. Would it really kill you to say, "Okay, we'll do our best"? You can see how worried I am. Put an old dear's mind at rest, why don't ya? Of course we plan on doing our best. Plan on? Pfft. Don't forget your position in this family, young lady. You're a stay-at-home housewife. I work part-time. What as? A part-time stay-at-home housewife? I can't think of a better way to describe you, actually. How is it that you hardly ever have to work, and yet you still can't even fulfill your basic responsibilities as a woman? Back in my day, women got divorced on the spot if they showed any resistance to being a mother. The world's gone to the dogs, I tell ya. It's time you knew your place, young lady. Understood. Don't worry, I'll be passing the message on to my son. I'll have you eating for two before you know what's hit you. What's a baker without any buns in the oven? Get to work. Hey, Betty. The peaches just arrived. Thanks a bunch. I'm glad to hear they made it safely. I went out of my way to have them sent over from the most respected peach farmer in America. They cost more than $10 each. Wow, these are some luxurious peaches. I didn't even know they got that expensive. We're really grateful. Thank you. Frank loves peaches. He'll be over the moon when he sees them. Make sure you eat your fill, too. I'm looking forward to hearing all about what you think of them. Betty, I'm really sorry, but I'm allergic to peaches. Always have been. I can't eat these. Uh-huh. Really, I didn't know that. Yep, but that doesn't mean I'm any less grateful. It really means a lot that you went out of your way to send us something so special. Frank can have my half, and I just know he's gonna love them. But they really are the most exquisite peaches you'll ever have the privilege of eating. Would it really hurt you to try one? Go on, just take a teeny-weeny little bite. Sorry, but I really can't. My allergy is pretty severe. Even just one bite would have me break out in rashes all over my body. Don't be silly, that's probably only from eating cheap, low-quality peaches. There's no way you've eaten anything this high quality before. Luxury could never be bad for you. Go on, just take a little bite. Anyway, even if you did have a reaction, what's the harm in a little rash? I bet you've never collapsed or gone into shock, have you? Well, I've never had anything that extreme, but aside from the hive-like rashes that break out all over my body, I also get super itchy. I haven't had an outbreak since I was a kid, but they're so uncomfortable. I remember the feeling like it was yesterday. Oh, stop being such a drama queen, you'll be fine. You're missing out on the chance of a lifetime if you don't try one. They're the sweetest, most succulent, most exquisite peaches you'll ever sink your teeth into. You absolutely have to try them. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm sorry, I just can't. The thought alone scares me. I'm gonna have to pass. I see how it is. It's very clear how much I want you to try one, but you're dead set on refusing me, aren't you? To think you won't even take a little bite. You know, Lucy, it's considered good manners to eat things given to you by your superiors, even if they're things you don't like. They say your boss came into work with some cakes she made. I bet you'd eat one even if you didn't really like the look of them out of politeness, wouldn't you? Which only makes your refusal of my supreme kindness and boundless generosity even more despicable. I am your mother-in-law, young lady. This isn't about me not liking peaches. It's about me being severely allergic and coming out in whole body rashes when I eat them. That said, no, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna eat something I don't want to eat just because the person who gave me it happens to be above me on the social ladder, professionally or otherwise. You have an answer for everything, don't you? You think you're so clever. Is defying me a hobby of yours? Are you going out of your way to annoy me as much as possible? No, I'm really not. Oh, and that's not all. I have a bone to pick with you, young lady. My son told me off for what I said to you about getting pregnant. He told me I had no right to say any of that to you. I bet you were straight off filling his head with lies, painting me as some domineering authoritarian. All I was doing was trying to provide some gentle encouragement because you two are clearly not capable of delivering the goods yourselves. I just told him what you said to me. You didn't have to go and do that. The idea was that you were supposed to do what needed to be done to get his juices flowing so he'd be in the mood to make babies, you simpleton. Why did my son have to marry the most thick-headed woman on the planet? You should know that all of our relatives will be at my uncle's wake next week. The thought of inviting such a tactless dullard to such an important family event is so terrifying it keeps me awake at night. I keep having these premonitions where you put your foot in the most awkward, embarrassing way and make me look like a fool in front of the whole family. Don't worry, I'll be careful not to cause you any problems. I hope that's true. Forget it, I'm wasting my breath. It's obvious by now that everything I say to you goes in one ear and straight out the other. Just see to it that you don't do anything that affects my stellar reputation in this family, or there'll be hell to pay.
Lucy, what's going on? Why would you go home all of a sudden when my mom's in such a bad way?
Because your mom collapsed.
What kind of reason is that? Wait, is this because she said all those things to you recently? Look, I guess she can come across as too direct and lack delicacy sometimes. But surely you can see how going home when everyone's running around in a panic trying to get her help is crossing the line?
Are you at the hospital now?
Yeah, she's receiving treatment as we speak. They still don't know what caused it, though.
It was all her fault.
Huh? What? Are you seriously saying it's my mom's own fault she collapsed? How can you say that with such confidence? Nah, no way. This doesn't add up. What did you do that made my mom start foaming at the mouth and collapse all of a sudden? She was unconscious, goddammit!
I didn't do anything. She drank the coffee that was intended for me. There must have been washing detergent or something else not meant for human consumption in it.
What?
That coffee was meant as a malicious prank to embarrass me in front of the entire family. I noticed the weirdest smell just as I went to drink it. So I swapped it for her coffee while she wasn't looking. That's when she started foaming at the mouth and collapsed, right? I'm well within my rights to be pissed off when someone tries to poison me, Frank. I'm lucky I noticed it before she got her way. Because it would have been me lying in that hospital bed if she did.
Is this for real?
Yes. I can prove it. So I know there's a chance you won't believe me. But that coffee was originally meant for me.
I'm sorry. Damn it! What the hell does my mom think she's doing? She's the worst!
It's okay, sweetie. I'm sorry for hightailing it out of the house without explaining what happened. I should have spoken to you, but I was so mad I could barely contain myself. But I've been putting up with her harassment for so long now. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't forgive her this time.
When you say harassment, do you mean stuff other than pestering you about grandkids?
Remember that box of peaches she sent us the other day?
Yeah, you couldn't eat them because you're allergic, right?
Here's the thing. Your mom knows full well I'm allergic to peaches. I remember telling her about it after we just got married. Now I might be able to entertain the idea she'd forgotten about it. If she hadn't seemed super curious and kept asking me all sorts of questions about how bad it was back then.
Well, seriously? Still, though, it was over a year ago. Don't you think there's even a small chance she forgot?
Maybe, just maybe I would if this was the first time she'd done it. But a few months back, she sent us that box of souvenirs full of candy with peach extract in it. I don't know exactly which part of the peach it is that gives me the reaction, so I play it safe by avoiding all of it. But it seems like she's sending everything she possibly can to try and make me have a flare-up. I told her back then I can't eat stuff with peach in it, so it's impossible for me to believe it's a coincidence.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Lucy. I should never have gone through any of this. I had no idea at all. To think this was going on under my nose this whole time. Gah!
Don't apologize, Frank. I'm at fault here too. I should have told you. It's just that I didn't want to rock the boat with her being your mom and all, so I figured it'd be best to keep my head down. I know that was stupid now. Keeping it all bottled up inside did nothing but stress me out. I'm sorry to say this, but there's no hope of me ever getting on with your mom. Me and her are done.
Don't apologize, babe. But my mom's the one in the wrong here. She should have never treated you like she did. I'm amazed you managed to tolerate her for so long. I mean, Jesus! She even went as far as trying to poison you. Who knows what could have happened if that went wrong? You could have died for all she knew. Who the hell puts washing detergent in someone's coffee? She deserves everything that happens to her.
Thank you so much for believing me, Frank. But what should I do? It just dawned on me that she might try saying it was me who put the washing detergent in her drink.
Don't worry about that. I'm gonna have the coffee pot tested by a professional. I'll also let the rest of the family know what's going on in advance, so no one believes her lies if she starts pointing the finger. I'm so sorry I doubted you, babe, even if it was just for a second. You don't have a thing to worry about now, because I got your back. I'm gonna protect you no matter what.
Lucy, are you there? It'll finally be time for me to leave the hospital tomorrow. But you haven't been to visit me a single time. My son's just as bad. He's ignoring all my messages for some reason. Care to explain yourselves? Hey, Betty, I decided I want nothing more to do with you. Frank feels the same way. That's why I need you to refrain from messaging me like this from now on. Thanks. What are you talking about? You really are a floundering disappointment of a daughter-in-law. How can you both be so cold towards me at a time like this? I'm weak enough as it is without my own family turning against me. Where's my sympathy? Sympathy for what? It's your fault you collapsed in the first place. What on earth could possibly make you say that? I've never heard anything so ridiculous. The doctors told me why I collapsed. They said it was because there was a foreign substance in my coffee. So please think before you open your mouth, darling. You'll only keep embarrassing yourself if you don't. I'll never be able to acknowledge you as my son's wife if you keep acting like such a moron. I tell you what, why don't you just do us all a favor and divorce him right now?
Give it a break, Mom!
Uh-huh.
It's Frank. I'm with Lucy. I saw all your messages.
Frank, why haven't you been replying to me lately? I'm so lonely.
You should be grateful I even brought your purse and insurance card to the hospital.
Frank, please. Why is Lucy always so cold towards me? This has been her attitude ever since you two got married. I think she might be infertile too. Don't you think it's time you started thinking seriously about your future, sweetie? You're still young. There's still time for you to find someone else.
But I don't want anyone else. I made a lifetime vow to Lucy when we got married, and I'm sticking to it. Nothing you say will change that.
Good grief. Why won't you use some sense, boy?
Where's the sense? Go on, I'm listening. Where's the sense in trying to poison my wife with washing detergent?
Excuse me?
The doctors told you they found a foreign substance in your body, right?
Yes.
I had the contents of the coffee pot sent off to a lab. The results came in, and I have a list of the chemicals I found inside it. They were 100% matched with the washing detergent in your kitchen cupboard. You were the one who poured everyone's coffee, right? I know you tried to make Lucy drink it.
No, you're wrong. Yes, maybe it was me who poured the coffee. But I'm pretty sure it was Lucy who have brewed it in the pot beforehand. Lucy did this. Think about it, son. I'm the one lying in a hospital bed here. Why would I poison myself? I know it might be hard to accept, but your wife is the only person who could be behind this.
I asked all of our relatives who came to the wake, and luckily there were several witnesses. When Lucy got up to go and brew the coffee, you stopped her and insisted you'd do it instead.
Really? I'm certain that's not how it happened. Are you sure these witnesses of yours don't just have bad memories?
You kept forcing Lucy to do chores that day, didn't you? She was visibly exhausted, but you just demanded more of her. One of our relatives felt bad for her and offered to help. But you told him to sit down and relax because Lucy would be taking care of everything around the house for the day. That's why they thought it was weird when you made an exception to go out of your way to stop her brewing the coffee and insisted on doing it yourself. You should know that there were several witnesses.
Even if, for argument's sake, all that were true, why would I poison myself by drinking my own washing detergent-laced coffee? I collapsed while foaming at the mouth, for crying out loud.
That's because Lucy noticed you're up to something and swapped your cups while you weren't looking.
She did what?
Still, she wouldn't have guessed in a million years you're trying to poison her with freaking washing detergent. No matter how you look at it, this is 100% your fault, and you got what you deserved. I don't think you need me to tell you how dangerous what you did was after you collapsed and got put in hospital. But you don't know how Lucy would have reacted to that stuff. You could have killed my wife for all you knew. We'll be well within our rights to report you to the cops.
Frank, please hold on a second. Hear me out, okay? I only wanted to give her a little fright, that was all.
You finally admitted then.
I'm sorry.
That's not me you should be apologizing to. Besides, no amount of apologizing will take back what you did. We'll never forgive you for as long as we live.
Please, darling, I said I'm sorry. I never thought it would turn into such a big drama. What else was I supposed to do? That girl never listens to a word I say. I was just trying to instill some discipline in her is all.
Just be quiet. There's no excuse for what you did. You disgust me. I never want to see you again. I'm grateful for you raising me, but you need to leave us alone from now on. You can keep my inheritance. I don't want it.
Frank, please wait. I'm begging you, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I was full of regret over what I did when I woke up in this hospital bed. Frank's driving now. He can't reply anymore. Lucy? Driving? Are you outside? Yep. We just went to collect the results on the coffee pot contents from the lab. Do you think maybe there's a chance you could come and see me at the hospital on your way back? I want to apologize to you in person. Please stop saying you never want to see me again. You have no idea how much it hurts. We wouldn't come to the hospital if you paid us. Lucy, please. I'm so sorry. I mean it. I've never been this sorry about anything in my life. I've always known you don't like me. You did nothing but send us food you know I can't eat ever since we got married. You say the nastiest, most hurtful things to me when Frank's not around. Anyone else would have probably ended the relationship then and there. But for some reason, I thought it was possible for us to get along somehow. And I thought that if I just stuck at it, things would work out in the end. My Frank's been spending all his time with you ever since you got married. You stole my son away from me. I've been so lonely. The only reason I urged you to have children so passionately was because being surrounded by so many happy families made me feel so acutely aware of how the clock's always ticking. And I didn't want you to wait until it was too late. But I realize that was wrong now. I'll never overstep my bounds again. I'll acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law. I'd rather you didn't. We're breaking off all ties with you. No, please. Don't even say things like that. I'm so sorry. If you were really sorry, you wouldn't be pestering us to come and visit you in the hospital. The only reason you were being so cocky was because you had no idea we knew about your little washing detergent stunt. We can't associate with someone who thinks like you. You're dangerous. Lucy, please, will you find it in your heart to forgive me? I'm ready to turn over a new leaf. I'll be extra kind to you from now on. Oh, that's funny. Let's face it, Betty. This conversation is pointless. How about you do the human race a favor by crawling under a rock, where you can never bother anyone again? We never saw Betty again after that. But not knowing when to give up, she tried spreading lies about me being the culprit behind her poisoning amongst the family when she got discharged from the hospital. Thankfully, since Frank saw it coming and prepared them all in advance, it backfired miserably and she became the target of a torrent of ruthless criticism. She became completely alienated, and now she's living out her retirement in loneliness and isolation. Between the shock of being disowned by her beloved son and her entire family finding out that she tried poisoning me with washing detergent, her spirit was broken, and she stopped leaving the house almost entirely. She was cited by a neighbor who also happens to be my friend lately. Apparently, she looked like she'd aged about 10 years since she last saw her. And she looked so run down and worn out by life that my friend wasn't even sure it was her at first. Even still, I don't feel an ounce of sympathy for her. She really did deserve everything that happened to her. We moved far, far away just to make extra sure we'd never see the mother-in-law from hell again. And we're currently enjoying life in the new house we bought. Half a year after she collapsed, I finally fell pregnant. And now we're making preparations for our son to be born. We didn't tell her back when she was sticking her nose in because we didn't feel like it was her business. But the truth is, we've been trying for a baby for a very long time, and we're overjoyed now we finally have one on the way. I just know that if she was still in our lives, I'd never hear the end of the correct way to be pregnant, or the correct way to raise a baby boy. It wasn't plain sailing, and we rode out our fair share of rough seas to get here. But after cutting all ties with Betty, we've never been happier. My priority now is building a happy household full of love and warmth with my amazing, supportive husband and the baby boy we've got on the way. I can't wait to see what the future brings.